All right, so this is the September 8th meeting of the Groton Inland Wetland Agency. Dave Scott is the chair. There is an opportunity to address the commission if you are not on the agenda. And you can do that under public communications. To do that, you need to raise your virtual hand on an Apple device. You can find that hovering at the top of your screen. On a PC, it's at the bottom. If you're on the phone, it is *9. All right, Dave, all you.
All right. We have any public communications?
I do not see anyone raising their hand. Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Let me just. I may not have. I thought I had started things. Yeah, I guess we've started. Okay, I don't see anybody in the attendees at this point. So at this point, I'll say no. There's no one for public communications.
All right. We have approval of minutes of August 11th. We have a motion.
Motion. How do I say?
Sorry, I was muted.
All right, Ann, you made a motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Second,
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Opposed, abstentions. All right. And the minutes from the special meeting of August 23rd, when we went out in the field. We have a motion on that.
So moved.
We have a second.
There, right? That was the site walk.
Yep.
Okay, I'll second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right. We have no new applications. We have just the application for the replacement of those structures that we went on the site walk for. And we have a draft motion for that.
Yeah, can you put that up, Deb?
I can, but hold on a minute. I keep getting bumped out of being online here for the meeting. I keep going back into practice sessions, and so the attendees can't come in. I'm having some technical difficulties here.
Ah,
Mine says a practice session.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, see, and can you click out of that and say start the seminar?
I don't know if I dare.
You can do it.
What do I do?
Yeah, mine just keeps saying I'm in the practice session. It should say start the meeting.
You got me. Start
I'm doing the same for you. If you
start
see it,
webinar.
start webinar, yes.
Okay, start. I did that.
Okay,
Webinar
it's saying,
has started.
okay, well, we'll see if we get any attendees in. Yes, success. I don't know why I couldn't do that. Okay, excellent.
After last meeting, I'm leery of pushing buttons.
Blame you. Okay. All right. So you've got, sorry, I was not paying attention here. You've gotten through the approval of the minutes?
Yep,
Okay.
both minutes.
All right. So I'm going to promote the applicant so that he can talk to you. Oh, all right, Clint, you're now. You should be able to talk now, Clint, if you unmute yourself. There you go.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Let me turn this sideways.
So I'm going to share my screen, Clint, to just get the plans up. I saw your email come through, but I was not able to get to the plant list, but you can go ahead and talk to them about it once I get the plan up. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right, should we talk about the changes made since we were last in the last version? So, we talked about that saving that large tree next to the road, and as it turns out, when they actually zoomed in on the air photo, got the tree located, that we were already to the right of it. So actually I was off a little bit because our access road will be right exactly where the ledge's walking path comes out. It won't cover all of it, but it'll nip a little bit. So so I had the engineer add a 15-foot radius safety fence around it just to keep people's attention, construction workers, they don't back into it or swing into it or anything like that. So we're going to avoid any damage or trimming or anything on that tree, and maintain. If we went to the left of that, we'd have extended the entrance road quite a bit. So it worked out pretty well. And then we added, notes about, the contractor removing all the, all the matting and everything from the entrance. Oh, wow, that's good.
Let me get it over there. Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, one of the, I'm actually, I see that right there. I'm gonna amend. It looks like there might be a little bit of a delay, and I don't know if that's really important, but we're actually looking probably more to start sometime the second week of November. But the way the
That's
material
fine.
out, it's it's a bit of a crapshoot figuring out when, if everything's going to be in time. But if everything does come in on time, then that sequence is fine. So one of the things we talked about, the matting out in the right of way itself, which once you get past the tree line, is 100% Phragmites. So we're just going to lay the matting down and crush the Phragmites down. We're not going to mow it. We're not going to excavate it or anything like that. And unfortunately, that Phragmites will come back, even stronger probably when we get out of there. So we're not going to do any restoration planting in the Phragmites area, but we will do a restoration planting and stabilization on the entrance road that we use to get to the right of way. And unfortunately, I was out in the field all day today and I didn't get any Deb's messages, but she has in her email right now my proposed seed mix, which is really two different seed mixes, that I always spec out from Wetland Plants up in Amherst, Massachusetts, because their stuff is the best and very consistent. And one of them is called a New England wet mix.
Mhm.
And so I've described how they function and how they propagate and so forth. And then I also actually put in the spec sheet because it's going on the plan, and the specs identify the application rate per square foot and so forth. And then it gives a really detailed description of all the different mixes. And so that the two I'm recommending are the New England wet mix, which is a little bit more wet tolerant mix, and but it has so many different plants in it that it will cover a variety of wet areas, and that is such a dynamic area as far as holding a lot of water and then slowly subsiding, shortly, for a short period of time. It's a big impoundment, and then it drains out and gets fairly dry, but it's still moist. And so that the wet mix is a little more tolerant of a wetter environment, And then the other one is what's called the New England Erosion Control and Restoration Mix. And it's commonly used for detention basins and moist areas like wet meadows and forested areas. I'll have this actually added to an additional sheet in the plan set so that the contractor has it right in front of their nose, 8.5 by 11. Specifications have a way of getting lost sometimes, but if they got it right on the plans. But in between that now and then, it's a really good description, I think, of how it functions and where it would be most well used. Something that I've been doing in areas that are so variable like this. I mean, this year is just like impossible to predict hydrology, but I'm recommending right at the top that these two mixes be combined and spread as a single mix, just to kind of increase the probability of more successful establishment. So I've actually recommended that right in the narrative at the top of the page. So that area coming out, as you know, is forested and with some shrubbery and saplings, but very little understory. So it's going to be open, for a good many years. So this mix will flourish nicely and create a little open herbaceous habitat in the middle of the forest. I think then we added the caveat that any damage needs to be repaired to the sidewalk or to the ledges path or the curbing, and I think that's pretty much it. I think we got.
I think you've addressed all the comments that I had and that Public Works had.
So I'm open to any further questions or clarifications or anything that anybody might have.
And I can put up the motion if you guys are ready.
I think so.
All right. Can you see that?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right, let me just get out of here then and go back. There we go.
There it is.
All right, I will make an emotion to approve Inland Wetlands Agency 21-07 for the replacement of the Groton utility structures, which will involve replacement of the wooden utility poles and the temporary placement of wood matting on the wetland surface. So the motion is to approve the replacement of Groton utility structures for the following reason: no loss of wetland or watercourse associated with this application. 2, the placement of wood matting is temporary and the area will be stabilized once the work is complete. And this permit is subject to the 4 standard conditions and the following modifications. And I assume you've seen this, Deb, the seed mixture
Yeah.
used for stabilization shall be placed on the plan, and I guess it's on there.
It will be on there, that's right.
Yeah.
I've definitely had experience with the wet mix.
Okay.
Oh, good.
All right, any questions?
Nope.
All right, do we have a motion?
Oh, I made the motion.
Think you need a second.
We have a second?
Second it.
Okay. Then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
All right, so be it.
All right, great.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure meeting you and working with you all. Hopefully I'll be bringing some other Groton utility projects to you in the first year.
All right, great. Thank you.
Right.
Glenn.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
you.
I don't think we have any old business. Deb, do you have any new business?
Nope. And no new applications.
No. And I don't really have anything to say except it's a good time with all this rain to be out looking over things. I've been looking at some of the brooks and they're certainly humming along, but they generally are staying in their banks pretty well. And I'm surprised at that, but that seems to be what they're doing.
Yep.
And I think you folks know that last night at the town council meeting, Annie was made a regular member of the Wetland Agency, and we have 2 new alternates that were appointed. So Bruce and I will reach out to them and get them up to speed with what you're doing, and you'll see them at the next meeting, I think.
Great.
Great.
Oh, great.
And on the site walk, I spoke to everyone about being reappointed, and so I'll finish up the paperwork on that and send it in.
Great.
We have a while. It's not until the end of December, but I'll get it out before the month is over. All right. That's about it.
All right, well, thank you, guys. Looks like we're ending at about 7:18 tonight.
Wow.
Whoa,
All
not
right,
quite a new
Right.
record, but
That's a record.
all right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
all right.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.